Here's the T. Having project management experience and knowing how to talk about it are two different things. And so many people are already doing the work, but they just don't know how to talk about it, so they miss out on opportunities. In this video, I'm breaking down how to talk about your project management skills without the title, without lying, and without sounding unsure. Tip 1, don't downplay your experience. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they downplay their experience. This shows up as, I was just helping out, or I kind of managed, or I assisted, and this really waters down your value and downplays your experience as you're looking into project management roles or just interviewing in general. Tip 2, speak to the impact of your work. Instead of listing tasks that are generic, you really want to focus on outcomes because that really shows the value that you bring to your team in the organization. And so I'll give you an example of what this might look like. A bad example of you talking about your experience in the project management space is by stating, oh, I scheduled meetings and I followed up. That's a task. That says nothing about the value that you brought to the team when you were scheduling those meetings or when you were following up with individuals. Let's pause here. Don't just say what you did, say why it mattered. Even small tasks can make a big impact when you can speak to the results. Once you get comfortable describing your work in this way, you shift the narrative from being unexperienced or someone who might not be able to lead the project to someone who is fully capable, who has a proven track record for delivering on outcomes as opposed to tasks. So that's very important in the interview process. Okay, so now that you have the outcome-driven language down pat, let's move forward and talk a little bit more about the question, have you been a project manager before? Tip 3, be prepared to connect your experience to the role. Here's a clean way to answer that question. While I have not officially held the title, I have led projects where I have planned the work, tracked the progress, and delivered results. Notice how I didn't say, I'm not a project manager, or I didn't downplay my experience. I simply highlighted the experience that I already have and how that aligns well with the role. Once you get that down, confidence becomes way easier because you eliminate this idea or this thought that, oh my goodness, I'm applying for this role and I might not be qualified for it, or I have not held this position before. So what do I do when they ask me that, right? So by preparing yourself for that question, even if they don't ask it, you build up this level of confidence in your mind, and confidence is what truly gets you the role. Confidence is what will get you the role over the title any day. And we're going to talk about that next. Tip 4, speak with confidence. Okay, so now that we talked about your skills, let's talk about something that people often overlook, and that's confidence. Because honestly, confidence matters way more than the title on your business card. And I'll just let that sink in. Confidence matters much more than the title on your business card or on your resume. And it is the confidence that gets your foot in the door, your ability to show that, yes, I might not have held this title before, but I can hold this title and I have the experience and I can speak to some of the language, right? And so, yes, I am qualified to hold this position, even though I might not have previously held this title. Think about it. Titles are just labels. And what really gets you the job is the skill. The skill is what makes you effective. A project manager could be a project manager all day long, but if they lack the skill set, they aren't really effective at their job. In the same way that someone could not have the title project manager, but maybe they've led projects for many years, but they have never officially held the title. The confidence is what really bridges the gap there. The confidence is what really conveys that, yes, I've already been doing this work, and here's how I have been doing it, and here is how I will add value to your team and to lead these projects and to deliver results. When I first started out in project management, I didn't hold the title project manager, but I started describing what I already did in outcome driven responses. And that's what really landed me my first role in project management, was my ability to convey that, yes, I have not held this title before. Here is what I have done, and this is why it translates well into the project management space. And so anyone can do that. Anyone can take their skills that they already have and translate them into project management language to convey that you are prepared, you have already done the work, and now I'm just ready to step into this role as a project manager. And that confidence is what gets you there. That swag is what gets you there. Here's what I want you to do. Start talking about your projects like you already own them. And when you practice, talk about the solutions, talk about your impact, talking about the value that you have brought to projects to push them forward, to make an impact, to really deliver on results. And the more that you do that, the more that you can talk about your work confidently, that's when those opportunities will begin to show up. That's when you will begin to breeze through interviews, because you have that confidence, you know what you're talking about, and you know how to translate your work to project management terms. And that is what makes you a winner in a project management space when you are on the job market. I really want to drive in this idea that ultimately project management and landing your first role is not about having previous project management titles. It's all about showing up, having that swag, having that confidence that I can deliver value and I'm going to deliver results. And you can count on me as your project manager to drive the team to success.